Hey guys, this is Captain Frugal reporting for duty, giving you my comic book review of the week of March 8th, 2023. Alright, for all those of you that are new to the channel, if you're not familiar, I take a group of comic books each week and review them and give you my thoughts in a really quick, dirty review, if you will. You're going to hear my papers. That's my notes. You might hear a couple clicks too for me getting my other notes. I also compare what I see on League of Comics Geeks. I take their information to share some of that, and we just talk about these comic books and try to have a good time. So speaking of which books did you read? Let me know in the comments. If there's any books that you think I should have read that I missed, let me know. I'm going to start today. I like to do top, bottom, and middle in no particular order. Today I'm going to start with the bottom, and I'm going to start with my number 3 on the bottom, which was Mary Jane and the Black Cat, issue number 4. I gave it a 7.03. Once again, a 7.03. Here we go. The League of Comic Geeks website gave it 45 out of 53 people liked it, a 3.6 average rating. And if you think about it, a 3.6 is just right around average. That makes sense. As Mary Jane and Black Cat's adventures through Limbo continue, they learn even more about the mysterious dimension and domain of Madeline Pryor. But the Goblin Queen isn't the only inhabitant of the deadly space between spaces, which is a lesson Mary Jane Watson and Felicia Hardy are about to learn the hard way. It's written by Jed McKay, artist Vincent Carato or whatever. I thought it was a good cover, good art in the issue. The story is a little out there, but it was a fun read. I still don't care for this Mary Jane with powers. By the way, I really like the cover of this issue. I thought it was a cool cover. This is an okay miniseries, but I thought the last one was a lot better, which is probably part of the reason why I gave it a 7.03. My number 2, this one has been a series that's continued to disappoint me, which is sad because I was really hoping for an uptick, and the cover was pretty good, and that was The Amazing Spider-Man number 21, and I gave it a 7.01 at the bottom, man. The cover I thought was cool. It says, "This is it, the story arc you've been waiting for." So people, they had a 85 out of 129 liked it, only a 2.9 rating. So once again, it sort of falls in with mine, with not a really good score. Actually, they were more harsh on it than I was. What happened to Peter and Mary Jane? It's time. The arc will answer your questions, including what did Peter do and who caused all this. It's written by Zeb Wells and penciler John Romita Jr. And the thing is, it doesn't really do any of that. No, it doesn't do that. No, what a mix. The cover is bait, plain and simple. For an issue that was supposed to give you all the answers, I think it gave you more questions. Just not a good one. I am ready for it to go back and let's get more of a traditional Spider-Man here. It has some interesting points in this issue, but I'm just not a fan of this whole storyline. So that was my number 2. Now we're going to go to the bare bottom, the bottom of the bunch. Yeah. And this one sort of surprised me a little bit, I will admit. I was expecting better from it, but it just didn't happen. And that was Bloodline, Daughter of Blade, issue number 2. Now, 14 out of 16 liked it. It had a 3.6 rating on this, so not a lot of people are buying this book. So I'm thinking the ones that buy it are really looking forward to it. And the rest are just, and it's not really attracting anybody. It's written by Danny Lore, and Karen S. Darbo did the cover, did the art for the cover art, and then there's another cover art with Chris Peter, and so they did all the art. I just smacked my microphone. Sorry about that. But anyway, I gave this issue a 6.95, though 14 out of 16 liked it on this website with 3.6 average rating. The new girl in school with new powers and new problems. Turns out that Whitney may not be the friend Muriel was hoping for, but that's the least of her concerns as she discovers her powers come with a dangerous hunger, and the Daywalker himself arrives on the scene at the worst possible time. Yeah, at the very end of the issue, so we don't get much of him at all for that regard. So that's a little bit misleading there. The story is okay, but from what my experience is girls don't make up that fast. They got in a fight and instantly they're okay with each other. Well, one of them is anyway. The art's not very good either, and I'm sorry, but I mean, we finally get father and daughter to see them together, but it's a little too late. It's at the very end of the issue. I think it was a missed opportunity. All right. So with that said, before I get to the top, let's go to the middle issues of today. These are the ones that didn't quite hit the buyer bottom, but they didn't hit the top either. My first one is going to be Avengers issue number 66, or Legacy issue 766. I gave it a 7.02 out of 10, where 18 out of 24 liked it on this website with a 3.5 average, which puts it right around with mine. Avengers Assemble Part 8, The Final Assemblage. Now, this does tick me off on a little bit here. The writer was Jason Aaron, and I'm glad to see this is his last story arc. I'll get to that in a moment. And the artist is Javier Garin, I can't pronounce anything. You know how that is. In the heart of all that is, the battle to save the entire multiverse is raging, featuring a cast of Avengers that staggers the imagination. Does it really? How much of these multiverse things have we seen now? Too much, in my opinion. I have to admit, bringing in Galactus to this issue, though, to take on Planet Doom was a pretty cool thing. I'll give that. Jason Aaron's run is almost over here with this. Let's hope that the Avengers improves after this. I'm not a fan of his run. Are you? I'd like to know that in the comments. And the finale of the story. You ready for this? The finale of the story is not in the Avengers series. No, you have to turn around and get Avengers Assemble Omega #1 for the finale. What a way to get a cash grab. You know, that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous to make you go to do that to get it. But that's a Marvel cash grab for you. Anything for a buck. All right, the next one that fell in the middle that didn't quite make it either way, top or bottom. Well, this one sort of surprised me. I've been liking this. Didn't care for this particular cover, though. That's the Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, issue number 6. Once again, Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, issue number 6. I gave it a 7.1. 36 out of 39 liked it on this website, giving it a 3.9 average. So I actually gave it, right around what they did. The Joker's enjoying a sunny, warm weather of Los Angeles so much that he's dedicated to stay and get involved in local politics. Kate Spencer's first might have something to say about that. Fists. I said first, didn't I? Kate Spencer's fist. I need to learn to pronounce things. Matthew Rosenberg wrote this, and another writer is Ryan Caddy, and the artist is Will Robson. Once again, I give it a 7.1. This is an okay. It was a little bit of a silly issue, but for the Joker, it sort of makes sense. It's not much for story progression, though. The second story was silly, but it was actually pretty darn good on this issue. So there you go. This one fell right in the middle. Nothing special. Now we're going to get to the top. Before we get to the top, I want to say a couple things. First, I want to say thank you to all these wonderful people that you see here. Without them, this channel would not be possible. They help support this channel and keep it going. They help by using Patreon and Subscribestar by spending as little as $1 a month to help this channel go. And you could even, if you don't have the money, that's okay too. You could help by just sharing these videos. Liking and subscribing would be huge. Okay, so definitely, if you don't mind, please help out the channel by, if you do get special things like special videos, special letters just do, as well as special discounts on merch from my merch store that I saw. I put up some pictures and images and stuff up there. If you want any of those things, if you're in the United States, let me know. I can get you a super deal. Also, let me know, what did you read this week? I want to know that. Okay, I really, really, really do. By the way, I'm also working on a new series. We'll see how it ends up. I do video game reviews, but I want to do one series called BS Game Reviews. It's where I take a review of a video game, but I selectively say a few wrong things, like names, manufacturer, whatever it is about the game. And I want to see which you catch. If you would like that, let me know. I'd like to see that in the comics. Do you think that would be a fun kind of video? All right, with enough of that all going through, let's talk about my top picks for the week. Here we go. My first one, Batman issue 133 with a 7.21. That's what I gave it. 158 out of 169 liked it. Notice how many votes are here. So a lot of people are still reading Batman. The Batman of Gotham, Part 3. The Toy Box, Part 3. Everyone goes insane eventually. And then they belong to the terrifying Red Mask. But Gotham City has a new savior. He strikes from the shadows. He zooms the dead and is known only as the Batman. And in our backup story, Tim Drake's searches for Batman continues. So what are my thoughts on this issue? Well, you know what? Batman's been pretty consistently strong for a while now. The cover does a good job on this of capturing my attention. I'll say that. The main story is decent. even if it's another universal kind of thing. Ugh. The second story, though, this is what I really want to mention a little bit. The second story does Tim Drake better than his own series. What do you think about that? In this series, Tim Drake is being portrayed more accurately and written better than he is in his very own series. DC, you need to do better. This issue had decent art, much better art than any issue we've seen from the Tim Drake Robin series. Come on, DC, get your act together and give us some better Tim Drake Robin. All right, my number 2. By the way, the Batman was a good one. I recommend getting it, by the way. Next one is definitely one I think you should get, and that's MoonKnight number 21. MoonKnight 21, I gave it a 7.3. MoonKnight issue 21, 7.3. 57 out of 61 liked it. It's a 4.1 average rating, so evidently a lot of people are digging this. Getting a lot of attention here, so maybe this MoonKnight series is selling well. I hope so. It says, "Let's dance." A sinister Pied Piper plays a deadly tune, one that spells death and chaos to all who hear it. MoonKnight and his champions, or his companions, they say, but I think they're champions because the background characters in this issue are great. The companions are put in an impossible situation. How do you fight someone whose will is not their own? Jed McKay's the writer, and the artist is Alessandro Capacucci. I apologize, I butchered that name. But you know what? I really like that they're giving the background characters more depth. Continue with this supporting cast, please. This is a good supporting cast. I really like Reese. I think she's cool in this issue. It's a fun issue. And for the record, I like this series. I really do. See what I did there? For the record, if you read the issue, you'll understand what I'm saying there. A little humor for you. Definitely, if you haven't been checking it out, I really, really think you should give this MoonKnight series a chance. It has been a fun read. And my number 1, this one at this point might be pretty obvious, because if you haven't heard it yet and it didn't fall in the middle, and that's The Flash number 794. Can you believe it? 794 issues. That's awesome. 109 out of 114 liked it. The Flash must be selling well. It's got to be one of DC's best sellers, in my opinion. It has a 4.2 average rating. The 1 Minute War, Part 5, Thunder in Her Heart. Written by Jeremy Adams, artist Roger Cruz. Boy, I am enjoying this Flash series, and I like this whole concept here. I like the Flash family idea, the 1 Minute War, how it's really more just a Flash thing. The other superheroes are pretty much out of it. I like that. I like seeing Jay Garrick here as well. You know what? I really would like to see more from Jay Garrick. Maybe we need a mini-series of Jay Garrick, or give him his own series. I don't know. Solid art, fun Flash, family story. I don't think this is a series you want to skip. Now, if you've been missing the 1 Minute War, go back and get the rest of the issues, because this has been good. This has been a consistently good series, solid, and a lot of Flash fun. All right, everybody, well, there you go. That's my thoughts on this week in particular. What did you read? Don't be afraid to let me know, and if you disagreed with me, that's okay too. Last week, matter of fact, somebody disagreed with me on Tim Drake Robin in the comments. And I want to tell them, if they're watching this right now, that I appreciate how you responded. We might not agree, but we can disagree in a civil way and share our views. And I think that's something awesome. So thank you very much. All right, everybody, you have a great day. And until next time, keep it frugal.